Hi guys, I am taking over Wellness Wednesday today. My name is Amy and I am a program assistant at Baggett. And we're going to talk a little bit about self-care today because it's a subject that I find very important. So one of the things I want to talk about, I just want to share a story with you. So I was out to breakfast one time with a friend of mine and she and I were just sitting there and I'm not a morning person. So I had sucked down my first cup of coffee already and was waiting for a refill. And I look up and I see that our server is headed our way and she's got this pot of coffee, but she's hitting every table and refilling every cup of coffee as she's working her way towards our table. And I'm starting to calculate in my mind how many cups of coffee there are and how much is left in that pot. And I'm slowly watching the amount dwindle, right? As it's just going away. And I'm thinking in the back of my head, okay, well, if that person doesn't need a refill and that person doesn't have a refill, then there's hope for me. But of course, she gets to the table behind ours and she refills the coffee cup of the wife that was sitting there. However, she didn't have enough to fill up the husband's cup. The pot was empty, right? She'd already refilled everybody's cup. And so you might be thinking at this point, that's what I'm going to talk to you about with self care, how we empty our pots by filling up everybody else's. But no, that's not what I'm going to tell you about because there's another part to this story. So she tells the guy, hang on just a second, I'm going to run back to the kitchen and get another carafe of coffee. So she does. She goes back to the kitchen and she walks out into the room and she's a very popular server. So the first table stops her to ask a question, and she's standing there and she's kind of chatting with them. In the meantime, I'm watching her and, sending all those vibes like, please hurry up, stop talking, come refill my coffee cup. This is really important to me. I can't focus. I can't think about anything but the coffee and how I don't have any. And as I'm watching her chat, the husband that hadn't gotten his cup refilled from the table behind us got up, walked over to her, and just held out his cup. And she laughed and he laughed, and she refilled his cup and then went about her conversation. And he sat down and drank his coffee. And I sat there and I watched this. And I thought, you could get up too. But I didn't because I didn't want to bother her. I don't consider myself important enough, to break into a conversation that she was having and make it all about me, right? So I didn't go. I didn't get up. And I just sat there and kept staring at her and willing her to come my way. And she started to finally move. And as she started to move, she started to fill up cups she'd already filled up. And in the back of my head, I'm like, she's not going to have enough when she gets to me still. I was driving myself crazy. But you know what? She made it to me. She had plenty of coffee. She refilled my cup, and I took a deep breath and I looked at my friend who was staring at me and a very strange look on her face. And apparently, she had been telling me a very important story. And I hadn't heard a word of it because I was focused on something that I wanted or needed, really. Let's face it, I needed it at that point. And I wasn't paying attention at all to her. And there's so many points from this story. The first is that, when we forget to take care of ourselves, we expect somebody else to take care of us. I mean, that guy just got up and got his cup refilled. Why? Because he needed his cup refilled. So he got up and just did it. And I, for some reason, felt that I wasn't important enough to go up there and interrupt her. And it didn't even interrupt her. She kept talking while she refilled his cup. So I don't know what it would have mattered. We have to recognize when we need our refill and do something about it. Um, Another thing to point out from this story, I was completely ignoring my friend. Even though I was in her presence and she was talking, I was not listening at all because I was focusing on what I needed. And so often we don't take the time for self care because we feel like, oh, I don't want to take away from my family. I don't want to take away from my friends. I don't want to take away from my job. For me, that's so selfish. And self care is not selfish, it is imperative. I mean, we have to take care of ourselves so that we can actually take care of others, so that we can actually pay attention to what they're saying to us. So it's important to do something. Now, when I talk self-care, what does that mean? Well, it's different for everybody. You know what you enjoy doing, what makes you feel happy, what gives you a few moments of peace. I personally, I take a bubble bath and read a book every single night. That is part of my self-care. Not everybody likes baths. Not everybody likes to read. Not everybody feels that they have that kind of time. I know often when we talk about self-care, people think, oh, that means that I have to spend hundreds of dollars getting a massage. I don't have the time or money for that. But that's not what it means. It can mean buying the flowers you thought were pretty that you walked past in the grocery store and sitting them on a table so that you can look at them and just enjoy them. It might be buying a book that you really want to read and then taking a few minutes to read it. Maybe you don't have an hour for self care, but you have 5 minutes where you can sit in a place in your house that you like or outside that you find that you enjoy and just breathe. Maybe you like to go for a drive. Maybe you don't have the time or money or don't feel comfortable going out and getting a pedicure, but you could, get a cute little nail polish that you like from the Zon and paint your own toes. All sorts of different things that we can do that just help us feel a little bit better. It's important that we do something little every day, but then maybe once a week, plan something bigger. If you're someone who's taking care of kids, taking care of an ailing parent, taking care of, somebody who has been diagnosed with cancer, and you're not taking care of you, your pot is going to empty out and nobody's going to know that they need to help you fill it. You need to make sure to do that for yourself. And maybe that does involve asking others for some help, asking a friend to pick up your kids so that you can take a 10-minute walk and just enjoy being outside or whatever it is, again, that you want to do. But realize when you're getting to that point. Start to pay attention to yourself in the fact that are you paying attention to others? Are you really giving 100%? Are you even giving five? Are you like me sitting there not paying attention at all to anything that's being said when you should be? So start to pay attention to those signals in yourself and then think about what do you love. Maybe write out a whole list. Here's things that I enjoy that make me happy. And then when you get to that point where you're like, I need some self-care today, go back to that list and go, what are some things that I enjoy? What do I have time for? What do I have the finances for? What can I do for myself today? And then make it a priority. When the people in your life see that you're taking care of yourself and then they see how that makes you more able to be present with them, they'll probably be even more willing to help you take that time. So make it a priority this week. Okay, that's my tip for Wellness Wednesday. And I hope you have a fabulous day. Stay healthy. We'll see you again soon. Bye.